We got the coach with us once again, twice in 1 week. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. It's Monday, right?
It feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Today is actually Friday. After
Okay.
the Thursday night win last night.
Take your word for it.
You guys go to Chicago. If you're going to go and you're going to travel on Christmas and everything else, you might as well get a win. And You guys did.
We did. Yeah, all W's count the same, fortunately for us. So
How you talked earlier, maybe it was last week or the week before, about games presenting themselves in terms of the style of game that they're going to be.
Yeah.
How early into that one did it present itself?
I'd probably say maybe third quarter. Yeah, third quarter, second half. Felt like we moved the ball pretty well offensively first half. Had a good 2-minute drive going. Would have been just weren't able to finish there in plus territory defensively. We gave up the one drive in the first half, and I think you kind of realized that we were battling field position the majority of the game. I was actually thinking about today, like watching the tape, just with the kickoff rules starting at the 30-yard line. And you really can't give up any yards in order to flip field position after a punt. Like if they're punting from like the 40-yard line, 45-yard line. You got to be able to get that thing out of negative territory too. So that's something we'll be focusing on. But yeah, I'd say the middle of the third quarter.
You talked to us a bunch this year, Mike, about the difference of principles and methods. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to guess the scheduling and the short week, and this time having to travel, not having the Thursday night at home. How much different were some of the methodologies to get the team's bodies and get guys ready to play on such a short week? How much do those methods differ from the experience earlier in the season with the Thursday game?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think we got to give a shout out to Matt Capurro, Jake Peets, Sam Ramsden. Those guys have brought me some different possibilities at the beginning of the week, with some different thoughts on what we're trying to achieve over the last quarter here and how we want to schedule it and set everything up. And so I think that's awesome that we can kind of idea source and come up with that's the idea of chasing edges of just always trying to figure out the best way to help our team and how we structure things. And I think we executed it really well. I felt like the guys were ready to go. I thought as best you can this late in the year on a short week. I thought the guy. We're getting Leo to play on a short week. That was tough. Some other vets. I know Gino's banged up, getting Gino ready to go. Several other guys. So done a great job of just getting our minds and bodies ready to go play.
Yeah, I could see Leo just didn't look good last night.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's banged up. He doesn't play very well. And I'm surprised he was even out there. Did you think about benching him?
Well, yeah, several times. Yeah, we just figured, he's...
Are you telling me that he could legitimately be better than this if he was healthier?
Well, I wouldn't say it's because of the health. I would just say you're always, of course, you're always going to be believing in growth in your players. You always think there's another level that you can take your guys, and I'm sure he would say that too. I'm sure this is some of the best ball he's been playing in his career, but why not be able to take it to another level?
We were talking about him earlier. There are a lot of defensive linemen that we often hear, they played great, they dominated the game. They don't necessarily show up in the box score, but they dominated the game. Uh-huh. He seems like he dominates the game and he fills up the box score.
Well, 59 tackles, a pick six, 15 tackles for loss, 9 sacks. That's a pretty good run through 16
Pretty
games.
remarkable for a defensive tackle. How rare is that?
Well, was this the narrative when he was balling out at the beginning of the year and then he wasn't getting the stats, And so, so I think you're right. There is something to someone being a dominant force and not creating stats. Like we talk about, there's a difference between being stat productive and actually productive on the field. We're looking for actual productivity, doing your job, setting people up, playing a certain way, all that type of stuff. But how many games has Leo missed this year?
I don't think he's missed. Has he missed a game?
I'm pretty sure he's missed at least one.
Might have missed that first Niners game when a bunch of people were hurt. I want to say he maybe
Detroit?
missed that one. Okay.
Yeah, Detroit.
Detroit
and San Fran. Yeah, so he missed 2 games with that stat line. That's ridiculous. So, yeah, got at least one more to go. So let's keep it rolling. But yeah, he's a heck of a player.
So all these tired bodies, everybody duct taping, get themselves ready to go and wired, and then somehow, some way, The lightest guy at 180 pounds, Devon Witherspoon, seems like you can't slow him down. I mean, he is just. Leonard said after the game that he plays off his energy.
Yep.
180 pounds, pound for pound, the best defensive player in football today.
That's where my money's at. I mean, like I said after the game, when you have guys on your team like that play just absolute to the wall every time, we talk about shocking effort. He plays with shocking effort. You know, you turn the tape, you are shocked when you watch Spoon play. If I'm on the field with him, how could I not step my game to the next level? How could I not play with that type of energy? It's just impossible, you know. And that's when we talk about like force multiple. That's what it means, you know. You're positively affecting everybody around you as well, just by, you know, talking about being leader and like you're vocal and Spoon. He's asserted himself more, and he's growing like heck. But he's doing a phenomenal job. But he's not like the rah guy all the time. But he's got a certain standard, and he has certain expectations from his teammates, and he backs it up by the way he plays. So you got to respect that.
When you say you're shocked, you turn on the tape and you're shocked at something you see.
Yeah.
Can you give me an example of something that shocks you when you watch?
Well,
him play?
you tell me.
Well, I know it shocks me. I mean, the play he made.
There you go. You were on pregame after all. For God's sakes, you tell the coach.
That's true. I was talking.
You were
to
the show last night. Yes.
Yeah. The play he made on the swing pass or whatever you would call it, little screen pass.
Yeah, that's shocking. That's the way you want it to look.
That's not like most people can't make that play. So when you see it, you're shocked.
Yeah, just like, wow, I can't believe they play like that. That's what we want our tape to look like. Mm-hmm. And we're still not there. We're not there defensively. We're not there offensively. We're not there in any of the phases right now. And that's going to be something we're always going to be chasing. Now, the cool part is there's spots, right? There are times when we're doing that, but it's not all the time. And so that's where we want to grow to.
Mike, if I were to quantify, or you were to go back and look at, I don't know, the New England game early in the year, obviously there were some different personnel there as well. But if you were to quantify how much volume you threw out on your call sheet and you called during a 60-play game versus the amount of volume it felt like last night with fronts and blitzes and looks, and how much different from week 2 or 3 to week 16 of this season with the volume of your defensive playbook?
It's kind of counterintuitive, but it's really I think our execution is way better. It's pretty similar, frankly. I mean, we really subscribe to the elegant simplicity thing, where it's we want to kind of do the same concepts over and over again, and then just dress them up differently, build to them. But I think how we play, how we communicate, how we execute, how we play together, that's what's changed. Mm-hmm. And as a coaching staff, feeling what we can do well, you know, and then we just think we've banked. I mean, what is that, like 14 weeks worth of reps that we've been able to get in addition. That's like 2 or 3 training camps, you know. So if you don't do it that way, if you keep building, you keep adding crap, then you tend not to get as good execution.
Execution, as you said, was pretty darn good last night. You end up with 7 sacks. I heard you talking last night about how that's a team stat, and it's not just what you do on third down, it's what you do on first and second down and preparing for it. I love the way you look at it. What does it say that the sacks came from all over? Not just individuals, but 3 come from defensive linemen, 2 come from the edge, 2 more come from the secondary.
When I heard that stat line, I was pretty fired up because it is a team stat, and then we've also talked about our pass rush mentality is not, even though, I mean, how great, like Leo is a phenomenal player, but it's not built around Leo. Like we're not going to just set everything up so he has the one-on-one. Now, there's going to be times where you're going to do that for sure, but we subscribe to it's a team pass rush mentality. So it's all 11 guys working together, and when you see the the productivity kind of spread out, where people get stats in each levels, I think that's pretty awesome.
Beyond that, I mentioned it to Brock earlier. I think there were 10 quarterback hits or something like that. zero roughing the passer calls. That feels like an anomaly in today's NFL. How I mean, I assume that's something you guys work on and talk about. What's the focus or the focal point there?
Well, we've been chasing that for a minute. I mean, we've done a pretty. This is like something we're growing in, and I felt like we've been up and down throughout the season. But we want to hit quarterbacks, but we want to hit them legally, and so there's a teach them aggression to it, and you got to understand the rules and when you can't do it, and how you need to hit quarterbacks and things like that. So our guys have done a great job. I mean, that's a really unselfish. That tells me you got a crew that is playing for one another and is playing unselfishly. So I think that's pretty cool.
Jumped out at me on the last play, actually, where Kobe came off the edge. And it feels like in the NFL, that exact type of play leads to one of those penalties so often.
Well, I mean, there's a few things going on there. One, like, Ernest was the edge rusher away, and so like he needs to build the edge to the defense to get Caleb so he can't just run away from the blitzer. So it gets him to stop his feet. Julian has to beat the back underneath, so he can't step up, and then we don't have two guys in the same gap. And then, of course, Kobe has to do a great job off the. I mean, a free rusher at Caleb Williams is not as easy as it sounds. There's a technique involved that you have to execute, and in a situation with such high variance, like it's pretty cool that he was able to do it like that, and without getting like full speed reps at throughout the weekend, really seeing that full speed. And a couple plays were the same play, but that was a great job.
Is this now twice? If my eyes are right, like end of game, you did Kyler at home, you did it last night where it was all out. Cover zero. Like you just kind of game on the line, big play on the line. Like we're just going to bring what you just said, all that artillery.
Yeah.
What does that speak to?
I mean, there's, I think you're just, it's always starting through the lens of what's going to put us in position to win the game. And so sometimes that's zero blitz. Sometimes it's a fake zero. Sometimes it's a, show zone, play man. Sometimes, it's whatever. It's just whatever you feel like is going to attack that offensive operation the best. And then, when you're on the 40-yard line, we call it every yard matters. You're looking at on that third down. If you give up 3 or 4 yards, you're possibly kicking a field goal. So it's always these like calculated risks, and just it went our way last night. We've had situations like Minnesota where we're calling very similar things where we feel like that's going to put us in best position. You learn from those things and you fall short sometimes. But guys did a great job last night. It was awesome.
What did you think of your running backs last night?
I thought they ran hard. I thought they played a good game. We'll look at some of the runs and felt like that maybe there was some more there, and but we took care of the ball. And I thought the guys ran hard.
We haven't seen a lot of Kenny McIntosh in his couple years here. And we've talked a lot about Ken Walker, and we've talked about Charbonnet. What does McIntosh bring?
Well, I mean, you think about his college history. I mean, the guy, we joke with him that, we have too many guys on the team that beat Michigan in college. It's like Kenny. Well, not Jax. Sorry, Jax. We won that one. Who else? Oh, both, yeah, Ken and Kenny. That was tough.
Yep.
Yeah, those are our 2 losses. Well, bragging rights on Jax for forever. What was the question? We're talking about Kenny McIntosh? Yeah. I mean, he's won national championships. Like, the guy's got a pedigree to him, I guess. He's got like a pedigree. He's got a natural like running style, and he kind of runs bigger than he looks. Like he runs heavier, but like with agility, which I think is cool. And then all of our guys can catch the ball out of the backfield. I think all of them can and they all can do all the things. It's not like we're just pigeonholed when we put a certain back on the field, I feel like. So that's big. And then he's a guy that we've challenged throughout the season to stay ready and stay prepared when he's given opportunities, and he's answered the bell on that. And we've had it's the same thing. Like when you get guys that are backups that get opportunities, you want the feeling to be like, oh, sweet. It sucks that Ken's out, but like, okay, but I am excited to see Kenny run. Or, it sucks that Rayshon's out, but I'm excited to see Kobe play. That's the feeling you want on your team. That means you have a deep team and your guys are preparing and you're developing guys and things like that. So happy for Ken, but Kenny, but let's keep coming. Let's keep coming, man. Let's go.
Salk, I think we've come to that point in the show where it's time for you to declare your edict.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I did have an edict.
Each game declares itself, and after, the course of
I
the
thought
season.
I already got that question.
No.
That was early.
This is a Mike Salk edict.
People are going to make fun of me for it, but it is essentially you can't run the ball if you don't run the ball. Like I keep hearing over the years, coaches talk, we got to run the ball, we got to do this. Well, it didn't work because of this, that, and the other.
Uh-huh.
It just feels like it's really hard to run the ball if you don't actually hand the ball off to the running back and allow him to run. And so that's my edict. Thank you, Brock. I hadn't necessarily planned to tell the coach about that, but thank you. Thanks for goading me into that.
Well, he's a thoughtful guy.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works, right?
Yes.
That's how it works.
But it's hard to do in the NFL, right? Teams are pretty good at stopping the run. Their defensive lines are great. Offensive coordinators in general, it's not about one specific person, seem to be like catnip with the passing game. They want to pass, it seems like, all the time. And yet we always hear, well, we want to run. It's an important part of the game, but you can't do it unless, you do it.
Yep.
Is it hard? Why is it so hard to do? Why can't you just hand the ball off?
I mean, you can. You certainly can. But at some point, you do have to throw it. Yeah. I'm not sure what the question is.
There isn't a question. Brock goaded me into asking you about this, but I don't really have a question here. What's your question?
I think alongside that edict is, from your perspective, on your side.
What's the definition of an edict? What is that?
We don't know. This might actually
like
be more of a doctrine. We're not sure.
A dogma, yeah. We don't know.
It's like the most obvious doctrine of all time.
There you go. But why is it so hard for teams to commit to that? It felt like a concerted effort last night. 25 runs over the course of all 4 quarters. 25 runs on the heels of 15 the week before, and I think 16 the week before that. Why is it so hard for offenses to commit to that in today's NFL?
I mean, you're asking me to talk for the whole league.
Yeah.
I can't necessarily do that. I mean, how do you get out of whack with the run game? Well, if you struggle on first down, then what are you going to do on second down? Are you going to go back and run into a bad look again? Or are you going to stay disciplined and keep doing it? Now all of a sudden you're 2 runs, and now you're facing a 3rd and 7, and you don't want to do that. So now you're trying to move the ball forward, or they're packing the paint, so now you want to try to get the ball on the perimeter. I mean, there's a lot of things going on there based on what personnel and what sets you're presenting. But the teams that run the ball the most effectively and most consistently, I think they do a better job on first down, either in the run or the action game, or the quick game, or whatever they feel like their plan of attack is on first down. These are the things that we're trying to do. We've been talking, for since day one about being efficient and moving the ball forward and being effective on first down, playing complementary football, and those are things that we're still chasing. We're trying like heck to get it done, and we're going to keep doing it until they tell us we can't play anymore. But yeah, I think but think about it. If you get a great first down play, run or pass, well, 2nd and 2 is really easy to call. You can call anything you want. Incomplete pass, so what? Now it's 3rd and 2. So that's why it's hard to maintain consistency, because if you get stopped on the first play, it's like, okay, well, most teams basically try to play 3rd down on 2nd down, because 3rd and 8 in this league is no bueno. Now defensive coordinators, now we're looking our chops, saying, okay, now we can run anything we want. So it's this constant back and forth where you can hand the ball off on 3rd and 8, but you're going to get booed off the field.
You mentioned the game starts to declare itself in the 3rd quarter. Do you start feeling, or maybe playing a little more conservatively on offense, given the success that your defense had?
Yeah, I think that's fair to a certain extent. The weather wasn't very good. We did want. I know we gave up the takeaway there on the flat to Faro, but just the balls. We want to take care of the football. Want to keep it moving forward, but I think you look at it. I think we'll go. Grubb and I haven't talked, since the, really debriefed yet. We're going to do that after here, but I thought we called the game that allowed us to go win the game in the second half, and that's all you can ask for. I mean, we could make more of a play here, more of a play there. We got the explosive DK. It would have been great to get the drive finished off there. We stalled out, so but we won. And no one's going to agree that it was nearly close to good enough, but we won the game.
I wonder if it would change some of your decision making on fourth down calls or third downs.
Absolutely.
Leading up to it, saying, hey, on another day I might want to go for it on fourth, but if we can just keep them pinned inside their 15-yard line, we're in pretty good shape tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Those every game we're having those conversations, but absolutely that affects your late down decision making for sure.
So I think I heard Herbie last night, probably out of the production meeting, Mike. Kirk Herbstreit said on the air that you, Mike Macdonald, would not trade your front for any front in the NFL. Your defensive group.
That's right.
Why?
I mean, how do you not? We love our guys, man. I mean, I'll say that for our whole team, just we love our guys. So, I mean, let's go. They're our guys. Let's go to war with these guys, man. They're the ones that have put in the work. They're the ones we see every day. How do you not love them?
So what is it that makes this defensive front special? Other than just that they're yours. What do you like about this group?
Can you guys just rattle off who's on our team? Like,
Salk, he got in at 3:30 in the morning, all right?
I mean,
Jeez.
I'm just saying, like, you go to our edge guys, they're all great players, all right? Our D-line, they all do a great job. We got mixes of vets and young guys, and they're unselfish, and they play really hard, and they're fun to be around, and they practice hard. Like, what else can you ask for? I'm serious, bro. Like,
Brock, we're gonna have to start throwing some softballs at him. I got to
stop.
That was a softball. That was a softball.
Where are you going to watch the game tomorrow night? Tomorrow night has a huge effect. I know we don't normally scoreboard watch, but tomorrow night, huge effect on your future.
Gino was saying maybe we get together and watch it.
As a whole team, or just you and Gino?
Yeah, just me and Gino hanging out.
And Jack.
That would
Come on,
be.
bring Jack along. Bring Jack along.
There's no
and
chance.
Jack.
I would have no idea what to do. I'd just be like, have a baby.
So where you just watch at home?
I haven't thought about it. Bro, I just literally just got off the plane. I just finished watching the tape. Now I'm trying to,
You call friends on the defensive staff in Arizona, offer them some clothes.
I would never do that.
Anything like that.
No, you can't do that. Sorry.
All right, that's not allowed.
Okay, I got one last fun softball. It is the Christmas season, the holiday season, and this is kind of schmaltzy, but this is what I do. Your favorite gift of being a dad. And I know it's in the midst of chaos and the season and everything else, Mike, but your favorite gift this season of bringing Jack into this world with your lovely wife and just the opportunity to be a dad, what's been the favorite part about that?
Wow. Man. I mean, that's got to be it. I mean, that is the gift in and of itself. You always say it, and you always thought about it, but you're just like, man, I'm just happy everybody's healthy, man.
Yep.
That's all you ask for. When that happens, you're just, like I said, after he was born, you're just like, man, so much has to happen to go right. And all the people, like, there's a lot of people involved, and it's just, there's a lot of things going on there. And so, yeah, I'm going to quote the Harbaughs here, but who's got it better than us on that? I mean, nobody.
It's awesome.
Just think, in a couple of years, playing games and getting in at 3:45 in the morning and all that, you'll be totally prepared for that by being a dad of a young child. You'll be so used to not getting any sleep from this.
I thought you were going to go the way of, like, we're going to be teaching them about, like, front mechanics or something.
Well, no, I definitely see how you view the world through a defensive.
See, Jack, you got to build a wall here, and then we're going to come under the running back there, and then Kobe's going to come free here.
Yeah. But also, Brock, he's thinking about how 11 guys have to do their job to get a stop, and he's applying it to all of the doctors and everybody else.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. That's a great way to end.
It's the exact same thing. All right, Coach. Enjoy the little mini bye here. We'll all root for Arizona together, and we'll see you after the Rams game next Monday. Appreciate it, and have a good year.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, there you go.